Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle, and I will be teaching the Hackathon 101 workshop. So just a general overview of what this workshop is going to look like. I'll be first going over what is Hoth, and then going over forming a team and an idea, planning your project, tools for success, making a demo, and finally just some general tips. All right, starting off with what is Hoth. So, Hack on the Hill or Hoth is a 12-hour event where you can collaborate to build technology-based projects. So, the hackathon is beginner-friendly, designed for people to explore, experiment, and learn new development skills. And the goal of Hoth is to really just meet awesome people, build something you're proud of, and have fun. All right, so what can you expect at Hoth? So you'll be able to learn new skills directly from students through workshops, which you can refer to in the GitHub link provided. And you can also refer to previous workshops as well, which are posted on the ACM Hack website. At Hoth, we also strive to create a supportive environment. So you'll have access to mentors and these workshops to help you through any obstacles that you encounter. At Hoth, there'll also be a lot of community activities. So you'll be able to meet new people and participate in fun social activities. And finally, there'll be prizes. So awards will be given for the best hacks, including for the best use of AI and best beginner hack. So even if you've never built anything before, you can still absolutely win something. All right, moving on to forming a team. So if you already have a team, then you're all set and you're good to go. However, if you don't have a team yet, you can join the Discord or participate in some of the team building activities that are going to occur at the beginning of the hackathon, to find other students with similar interests. And just don't be afraid to reach out to others, as most people are looking for teammates as well, and there can be up to 4 people per team. All right, moving on to forming an idea. There are a few sources of inspiration. So for example, that you can refer to this year's theme and tracks, as well as the Hoth Gallery for the past winning projects. And you can also just think about a product that you use that could be better, or something you've always wanted to build. Or is there something that you wish existed didn't exist? So these are just some sources of inspiration that you can think of while forming your ideas. And just keep in mind that you should be realistic on what can be achieved within the 12-hour time frame. And don't be afraid to pivot ideas during the process. Right, so for planning the project, you can break it down into a few subtasks. So first, you just want to brainstorm. So jot down any ideas that come to mind. Next is the project outline. So identify the key components and features needed for a functioning demo. And next, you want to prioritize features. So determine which features are must-haves for your minimum viable product and implement those first. So for example, if you are building a fitness app, a must-have feature for the MVP would be logging workouts, while nice-to-have features would be things like analytics or being able to share workout data with others. And finally, you want to break down the tasks. So assign small tasks to each member, and this will allow you to make efficient progress on your project. All right, moving on to the technology stack. The tech stack that you use will be dependent on the type of project that you are planning to build. So if you want to go in the direction of web development, we recommend that you use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is used for the structure of the actual website, such as the text, the buttons, and the inputs. Meanwhile, CSS is used for the style of and like how the website is actually going to look. So this includes the colors as well as the page layout. And finally, JavaScript is used for the logic of the actual website. So it handles things like button clicks and data updates. And for frameworks, React is highly recommended for modern front-end projects. Some of the pros of React are that it's component-based, so you can build reusable pieces. And this means that you don't have to keep writing the same lines of code for your UI. And React also works well with APIs. If you want to build a mobile application, you can use Swift for iOS apps or React Native for cross-platform apps. And this includes iOS apps as well as Android apps. And if you want to develop a game, Unity is the most beginner-friendly engine and is great for building interactive experiences as well as 2D or 3D games. Continuing on with the technology stack, if your project deals with any sort of data management, you need a back end. So Flask is a simple and beginner-friendly server, or you could also use Express, which is another popular option. And for databases, MongoDB is a document-based, flexible, and friendly database, and it's good for storing and saving as well as tracking data. And for APIs, you can utilize APIs such as Google Maps if you want to implement location features in your project, Spotify to retrieve music data, or OpenAI if you want to incorporate an AI component to your project. And APIs allow you to add cool functionality and powerful features to your project without writing everything from scratch. Right. Moving on to version control. Version control is a way for the team to collaborate on the same code base without losing track of changes. So to do this, you want to use Git and GitHub. And with these platforms, you can assign specific features to different branches, as well as track changes over time. So if you need to revert your code to a previous version if necessary, you are able to do so. And if you are new to Git, no worries at all. We have a dedicated workshop for Git. And moving on to making a demo, a video demo is required for judging. So definitely try to make it marketable. And just a few things to include in your video demo. We want to learn more about your journey. So what was the process of your project development and what challenges did you run into during that process? We also want to hear more about the technical overview of your project. So just briefly go over the tools and the tech stack that you utilized. And make sure to cover scalability. So this means like answering where could this project go in the future, or what other features would you add if you had additional time to work on your project? And don't stress too much about the demo. Mistakes do happen. So focus on the creative effort and the process that got you to where you are. And finally, just ending off with some general tips. So don't be afraid to seek help. There'll be mentors walking around, as well as there are a lot of online resources that you could refer to, such as Stack Exchange, documentation, YouTube, or you can even leverage AI tools such as Claude. You can also refer to this year's workshops as well as last year's workshops for additional information and resources. And another tip is that messy code is okay. Functional code is definitely better than perfect and clean code for your project. And finally, manage your time well. So prioritize tasks and use time boxing to ensure that you have enough time left for whatever you need to get done. And yeah, this wraps up the Hackathon 101 workshop. Hope you have fun at Hoth.